Hey there guys, we are back with part 3 of this design stream to catch everybody up. Well, we're in part 3, so I don't know if I need to actually catch anybody up, but we are designing chess pieces for, let me just open this up, game tokens contest on printables. That's where we're at. Design goals here are: 1, we're going to go with a geometric design, polygonal, geometric, one of those two for the pieces. A second one is, as you can see right here, this is 8 pieces. These are the 8 major pieces, and we want them to be able to fit together and snap together. Well, potentially snap together. That's what I'm thinking right now at any rate. And therefore, this is the current setup that we have, and in the stream, what we'll be doing is modifying this base so that all these pieces can snap together. And that is where we were at the end of last stream. But since then, I have gone and done some research. At the end of last stream, I said, let's go ahead and print out some pieces so that we can see where we're at in terms of printing. And I have done that, and not only have I done that, but I've done a little bit extra. So, we printed out some pieces. This first one, this you may recognize as the king if you're familiar with how the pieces look. Let me close the window just because the glare is going to make it a little difficult to see the details. Alright, so this is the king. Again, I didn't quite mention this, but one of these things, focusing is going to be a little bit difficult here, but the points on the pieces are going to indicate direction. So this is the bishop, because the points are in the corners. The bishop goes diagonally towards the corners. This is the king. He has points in all directions, so those are the directions he moves. Again, these are rough outs. We're going to actually change the specific features of this to be more stylistic later on, but this is the general rough shape that the pieces will have. This guy, and the reason I have 2 kings here, back to these piecing in together. The king, because of the way I designed it, I didn't necessarily need to do this, but I offset these faces by 0.05, which is what I normally do for piecing things together. When I have to slide 2 parts together for 3D printing, I offset the faces by 0.05 millimeter so that they don't interfere too much with each other, so they have a little bit of clearance to slide. The king, not going to be so much of a problem because we already have him confined inside of this. That's the one thing. Second thing is, I don't know how well this is going to show up on camera, but this is significantly smaller. And I'm sure there's, one of those things. I don't know 100% sure, but 1, it's definitely scale. 2, because of the geometry of it, you have a lot of faces going in the same general direction. So that's actually accumulating more than normal. And 3, the third thing that I can think of, why this is so significantly smaller than this one, with the 0.05 millimeter offset, is that my 0.05 millimeter offset is normally on the inside. So in theory, it's normally inside features is how I do it. So in theory, it would have come off the bishop instead of the king is what I should have done. So that makes a difference, because it would have just been this face, this face, this face, this face, just these opposing faces, okay? As opposed to every single last face on this guy, which when we count it, it goes 1, 2, 3, 4. So 4 per side times 4 sides is 16 faces instead of 2 per side, which is 8 faces. So we're twice as many faces we're offsetting. That's an interesting thing I wanted to mention and bring up just for future reference. Otherwise, if we look at these, next thing, well, actually, let me jump ahead a little bit. Just to clarify, again, king is not fitting terribly snugly here. However, when we modify these features to be more stylistic, we'll be eating up a lot of that space. All right, so that's out of the way. Now, the research I did is I grabbed every single last chess board I could find in the closet and started taking measurements. So, starting with the biggest chessboard I have here. This one, the squares are 1 13/16 about square inch. And here is a collection of pieces from that set. One important thing that I realized as I started this is that this overall height that we've been using, that's actually the height of the king. So the king's supposed to be this tall, but the other pieces should be shorter. We did design the pawns to be shorter because that's something I just remembered. But all these other pieces, so this bishop right here, rather, this bishop should actually be a little bit shorter because the king is supposed to be the tallest piece. So that's one modification we have to do that I came up with. But what I'm getting at here is this base on this 1 13. You can see it's that much smaller. I measured it at 1 3/16, so full 10/16 smaller, which is what, something like 3/4, 2/3, somewhere in that range, smaller. We are at 3/4 on this one. We are at 3/4 inch for a 1 inch base, so that is about the correct one. But I did want to show a size comparison. Let me rearrange this like this. So that is how much smaller our pieces are from these ones, just to get an idea. Next board up is this guy. So this guy is where are we at? 1 9/16, so about a 1/4 inch smaller. If I'm doing that math correctly, about a 1/4 inch smaller on the square size. And if we compare pieces, we can see that the pieces got significantly smaller between these two. And we can see that these bases are the same exact size, which was interesting, between the pawns and the pieces. And they're at 1 1/8 inch, which would be 2/16, 7/16. So 7/16 is about 8/16, which is about half. So that no, I guess that's about the same proportion, I think. Anyway, I didn't do that much math. 9/16, 8/16 is half inch to 1/8 is 4/8, 4/8, 1/8, 3/8. 3/8 reduction on 4/8 is a good bit. I don't know. Math on stream. I keep on saying I'm not going to do math on stream because my brain freezes up. The point here, what I'm getting at, is this last one. This last one is actually the most important one, and why I'm going to gloss over the rest of that. This is the 1 inch square board that I have. So this is the one that our pieces actually fit on. If you look at the size comparison here, our king is actually right there. Compared to the knight, I know this is supposed to be a bishop, but they're all going to be the same height. Compared to the knight, that actually looks a lot smaller. In terms of radius, we're actually not terribly far off. If you take the average size, like obviously this middle is significantly smaller, but the average size is actually pretty close. So we are kind of in the right ballpark. We are designing these in the right ballpark. And again, or not again, but I keep on saying these should be transportable is something that I'm thinking about, especially because we have the nesting feature where everything fits together and into one block. For that reason, we're not sorry, let me back up because I'm thinking two different things here. There's a difference between transportable, which this is transportable, this set. You can take these pieces and put them in the base here. This set is transportable. It is not a travel set, though. A travel set would be significantly smaller. We're not shooting for a travel set. I wanted to make that clear. Our intention is not to make a travel set, because a travel set is extremely a lot smaller. It's probably about a quarter of the size of this board. And those pieces would have to be a lot smaller than I feel comfortable printing on an FDM printer, and frankly the detail is not going to be anywhere near what we need it to be in a travel set size. So that is the sum of all the research I did. We now have an idea of what the board size is. We have some parameters on, well, we have confirmed that our parameters are more or less right where we want them, with the exception of, obviously, the other major pieces aside from the king need to be a little bit shorter. And the last thing this brings up is, back to this being a transportable set, I'm thinking that, let me switch back to Fusion. This block right here, we may not end up going with this block specifically. What I'm thinking is we're going to have two sets of these, because one of them's going to be black and one of them's going to be white. And the overall length of this is less than 3 inches. Let me just double check that. Yeah, less than 3 inches. Since it's less than 3 inches, that's less than 3 squares. And we've got a board that's 8 squares wide by 8 squares long. These bases being less than 1 square wide. And when you put them together, that all adds up. So if you're following my logic here, technically speaking, all these fit along 2 sides of the board, easy, with extra room to square, which means to spare rather, which means that we may actually end up go and print a board, create a printable board that then can wrap around these pieces. So if you imagine these ones in the line, and let me turn them sideways like this. So these are laying down in a line on this side, and then you spin around to the other side of the board, and you have the black pieces coming in from the other edge of the board, and then the board wraps up around the pieces. That is an idea. That is an idea of how to keep these all together, because one problem I was having, well, it's not really a problem. One thing I was considering is that these pieces are just sliding freely. I was figuring that the features we add to it would secure it. So for example, this king would snap into features on this bishop to keep it from sliding out. But if we also have the board going around and the board attaching to the edges of these bases, then that, you know, that makes it a lot easier, because any pieces nested in the middle then will just slide towards the center of the board instead of out, because these guys are acting as a wall against the edge of the board. So this is a new and interesting idea and path to go. One thing that I'm thinking about right now is color printing is, you know, one of these deals that is not very widely proliferated. Now there are ways to get around that. But before I get to the ways to get around it, let me just say the alternative is, instead of having a multicolored board with black and white squares, or whatever color squares you want, because let's face it, it's a printer, you can print whatever color you want. Instead of having different colored squares, we could have raised and lowered inset and outset squares. So you'll have a slightly higher square right here, and then a slightly lower square over here, or, you know, base level, one of the two. And even if that's in all in the same color, you can still obviously differentiate the squares. Like, it is a lot simpler than simply having a ridge around each of the squares. If you have a ridge around each of the squares, you could get a little bit lost. But with an embossed or engraved square, you can much more easily see the difference between those squares. The alternative is that we have a sheet. Okay, we put down a sheet in, let's say, black, or, well, let's not use black, let's use yellow, let's say, for the heck of it, yellow. And then you print on top of it more squares. Now that's a more advanced printing technique that may be difficult for some people. I've seen it done before, but it is definitely an option. So you'd print a white square, white square, white square, alternating down the row, and then change out your filament and run the next G code, which prints a black square in the spaces in between. Again, that's a bit more of an advanced technique and may not be suitable for everybody. We can actually do both, though. We can design two boards that achieve, that do each of those two things, and therefore people will have the opportunity to decide which one to use. Now, the last and final theoretical thing that I've been thinking about here is, while the board situation would make it a lot easier for us and we don't have to worry as much about these pieces sliding out and away from each other, which is one thing I was trying to solve, one problem I was trying to solve, the fact of the matter is that we probably still want to have them interconnect in this orientation as well. So again, the bishop snapping into the king, and we probably still want to do that because this contest specifically is game pieces, it's not game sets. So it's one of these deals where the pieces themselves should be a self-contained unit that you could print for a regular chessboard. That's the idea. So while the board idea I'm very optimistic about, we got to make sure that it works without the board, simply due to the contest design rules. Again, it's one of those things I probably could get away with it. The contest organizers, for all I know, will be just like, or would just be like, oh, well, I mean, they're still game pieces, so even if you have a board to go with it, whatever. But it's one of those things I would like to stick as close to the rules as possible. So let's get on to designing. And the first thing to do is to change this base. Again, we want these bases interconnecting now. So what that means is that we got to cross our fingers here. And we got to cross our fingers here because this change is going to propagate across all the other pieces. And if I screwed up on my constraints, which I most definitely did, then we are going to have a little bit of an issue, which we're going to have to solve. First thing, though, is just clarifying how these bases are going to snap together. For the time being, I'm going to do all four sides having features that interconnect. So we will have a puzzle piece, for example, type shape here, inset type here, and then an external feature here and here. That's how I'm thinking I'm going to do it right now. And we'll go from there. If that needs to change, then it needs to change. But the point of that is that the inset feature then will be here and here, right? And then... Alright, I didn't actually think all this through. So let's hop over to the pencil pad. Notepad. Alright, and let's draw a square, and let's just start drawing interconnections. So if that's there and there, then we rotate, well, this is an external here. To the right of the external, would put that there. Actually, no. This isn't even how I want it. Back up. What I wanted to avoid was external pieces on the outside, but that may be unavoidable. It's one of these things. I don't do enough puzzles is my problem here. If I did more puzzles, this would not be a problem. So if I want internals here and here, here and here, that's not going to work because these are both external features. So that's not going to work. So rather than puzzle pieces, we need a different locking mechanism then. And the way we can do that is by changing the orientation that these are going. So we can do something like this. Actually, let me not draw that. We can try to do something like this, where this is the base, and that goes like that. Actually, no, this should be a Z-shaped. It should be a Z-shaped. That way it is repeatable, in which case we do that, and then we do that. Yeah, something like that. So I guess that's where we're at now. And the point being is that we can have the base. Well, see, I'm trying to avoid this, right? So the base kind of has to come more square now, and then these features will just have to be something like that. All right, let's get designing and see what happens. All right. Biggest problem here is that this is most definitely going to break because we lofted this instead of extrusion, and I'm not going to be I'm going to be extruding now instead of lofting. So the body's going to be different. I can't just edit this feature right here. So we are definitely breaking something off the bat here. Let's go all the way back and hit delete all features. And I will design this from the side. Well, now we probably want to design it straight down. Do this. Actually, I don't have to delete everything if that's what I'm doing. So let's go here and then delete all this, because this should be the same no matter what. And do I actually, is that not a construction line right there? Nope, that is a construction line. Okay, cool. So let's go ahead and extrude this straight up. And we said 6 millimeters is what we said, if I recall correctly. And let's get this back white. Alright. Now, for these to snap together, we can still do the puzzle pieces. We just got to do the puzzle pieces hiding is all we got to do. So let's go ahead and do that. I'm going back to the puzzle piece method. So we'll do this. And as always, I'm just going to pattern it around and project. Okay. Let's do that. And I'm just going to do round pieces because those are easiest. Do the offset here. This will do 3. That is a bit large, I admit, but that is fine. And actually, I will turn that back that way. We will toss this centered on here. Toss that in there. Toss that centered on there. Toss that perpendicular to the edge so it's better defined. You will be will you be tangent? So for snapping together, it's actually a bit better like the it has to be here, doesn't it? This might not work as well as I thought it was going to work. We'll see what happens. Nah, we can make it work. We can make it work. All right. You will be tangent. So there's that. There's that. And then I actually want to do this, I think, to give it some spring room. So let's extrude that body. And actually, we will back up a little bit. And open you up. Tangent, tangent, and we don't want you 90. We don't want you 90, so 75. We'll start out 75, see how that works. 75. Okay. Make that a construction line. And, whoops, extrude you up. And we will go up 3 for now. And let's go up 2 because what I'm thinking is that I'm going to need some clearance here. And actually, we will draw a line in here and go tangent to that. And the reason I'm doing this is because, let's extrude it so I can show you. So obviously this clip right here that I've just created needs to have flex on the edges, which is why I cleared it out originally. But I'm going to go ahead and extrude out above this. That way we have some clearance for everything. So let me go ahead and do that now. And if I'm going to extrude out above it, this clip needs to be part of the rest of the base. I will say, one important thing to bring up here is that we probably have to modify this design slightly in order to be more printable. Well, no, it's just going to have to print with supports, I think. I think we're just stuck printing with supports in this method. The alternative is going back to design number 2, which I drew, the Z-shaped design that I was showing you earlier. I like this whole entire clipping system better than the Z-shaped. I feel more comfortable with it, but the Z-shape should... I was going to say the Z-shape should be able to print without supports, but that may not be 100% correct. No, that's definitely 100% not correct. Okay. So we got supports one way or another. So this one's the simpler way, and therefore we're going with this way. So let us go ahead and do this. Select all this area from object, and we will go up another 2. -2. There we go. So there we go. So now we have some clearance in here, and the external clips can go from this plane down is an option. And the question is, did I really need to do all that? And I didn't really need to do all that, did I? Yeah, I didn't really need to do all that, I don't think. So let us do that and just do these guys. Huh. See, the funny thing is, I kind of like the extra space there, but oh no, that's why I need it. Right. So this is why I need the extra space, but that also is a little bit of a problem. All right. We are going to go ahead and just keep charging forward here. Features. Not both. Yes, both of the features. Features, axis, just 190 degrees. So. I say 190 degrees. Would 180 degrees be better? Let's see. Yeah. Let us keep here for now. Basically, my thought process here is that, and that is a really severe overhang. My thought process is that I kind of, so back to with the mat, I was thinking about just lining these down so that they're long, so they're 4 long instead of 4 square. But because I'm trying to get away, not designed specifically for having the chessboard, if it was going long, then it would probably make more sense to just do one side and then do the male side on the other and not have any other connectors instead of all 4 sides. The alternative situation here, yeah, okay. So I'm trying to make a base piece here, but that's just stupid. So let's not do that. Okay. I'm going to leave the drawing here, and then I'm going to finish sketch. Nope. What did I? Oh, I added the cross line in. Okay. Let's delete that. So I will just extrude these features onto each of the pieces individually as they interconnect with other pieces. That is the intelligent way to solve this problem. One of these things I try to, I have this fixation on streamline, so I like, or I guess streamline uniformity, you know, having everything uniform is what I like. So it is pleasing to me if each of these pieces have the same exact base and then they just have different things printed on top of them. But this is a complete set, and because this is a complete set, I don't have to do that. So we will not. Instead, we will go ahead and design it. So for example, the way I have this set up right here, we can go ahead and design it so that the bishop has male, female here, and then that will be rotated 90 degrees. So that will be female, because we take that, pattern that over there, flip it 180 degrees. No, that is just 90. So female, male. This will be female, male. So we rotated that 90 degrees. So that's female now on the male, and that male is now going this way. And then the rook, female, male, female, male. And we said this was female here. Oh, actually, so the base should actually work rotated. Huh. So I may just be worrying for no reason at all. I may be worrying for no reason at all. Okay. I don't know how I misvisualized that earlier. Earlier I was saying, when I started drawing down here, I was saying it wasn't going to work, but it looks like it should work. And it may be that I didn't think it worked because I was drawing all four sides, and only two of the sides need to be for the square shape. For the square shape, only two of the sides need to be featured. All right. In that case, let us go ahead and redo this. Actually, fix you. Okay. Let me think really quick. All right. Whoops. If I had this 4 units high, could I cover all this up? I should be able to cover all this up, right, with 4 units high. So let me show you what I'm talking about on the notepad. So you guys get out of the way so I can get closer and use this corner. Right now we have this-ish shape is what I had before, okay, with this reset. So where the male piece would come in here, and the male piece would still be sticking out the side of its piece is my problem. What I want to try to do, and I'm pretty sure I can do it with 4 layers, is, let me draw the female piece. So that's the female piece right there. The male piece sticking in here. So I'm trying to see if I can't do it with 3 layers first. Is actually, sorry, I'm jumping ahead of myself. So if the male piece is overlapping there, and I'm going to just draw the alcove for now. If I make the male piece like this, that's 3 layers. The problem with that 3 layers is that when the pieces are apart on the board, let me come over here. Here's a 2x2 section of the board. The male side still looks like this, right? Which is the problem. I would like from the top view all the pieces to look like this. The female side looks like this because it has this overhang right here that lets it do that. I was thinking if I go 4 layers, so So here's the top layer on both of them. Nah, it's not gonna work, is it? Nah. I was thinking I might be able to do something where I was thinking overlapping these somehow, but one way or another, they're always going to have the always going to have this issue. Alright, so we are a little bit of an impasse right now. And again, this is one of those things where if I change the orientation of this locking mechanism, we could probably end up with something more satisfactory. Maybe. So this Z pattern doesn't work. It kind of does work, doesn't it? No, it doesn't work. Doesn't work, no, because we're like that. So if we do it this direction instead, so right now from the top down view we are looking at this and this. If we did something like this, it might solve our problem. So the base, and the reason it would solve our problem is because we could design the rest of the base to incorporate that. Maybe? Nah. Again, this is me trying to keep square bases, and that may just not be a realistic possibility. So let's look at an alternative really quick. I'm going to switch this back to Fusion, and we're going to look at this. So before, the way these stuck, I was talking about having these stick together, is by using the pawns. And that may be what we end up doing here. So let's see. Also, if you can hear the lawnmower, that's not in my yard this time, that's somebody else's yard. And after yesterday's issue with yard sounds, I am going to ignore it this time because that was really frustrating to have to stop. So we are just going to let it go by and ignore it. So the alternative to using the pawns, here's another alternative to using the pawns rather, is instead of having these slope bases, we have these straight, and then these pieces here actually connect. The features on the major pieces themselves connect. And that is another alternative. Although I said although 3 times. Here's another idea. Let me do this actually. There's a lot of options here on how to achieve what we're trying to do, which makes this an interesting but also very time-consuming situation. Did I not just hit the button? I thought I hit the button. Okay. Whoops, not that. Not that button. Manage lost protections, face, click, boink. Okay. Finish. Review warning. Sketch plane is lost. No, I used the same exact sketch plane as last time. Oh, I killed the sketch plane from last time. Okay. Let's Control Z and do this, and then delete all that and save again. There's that. You can get latest, and now you should have your sketch plane back. Right? Because my sketch plane is get latest. Huh? Sketch plane's right there. Oh. Well, that is incorrect, so let's update that. Alright, and now let's hit the update button here. Hit the update button here. Okay, and you're still complaining about your sketch plane? But you have your sketch plane. It's just the same one that you were using before. That guy. Okay, cool. Alright. Bishop updated. Okay. Rook. Is the problem here that I mean, this isn't gonna fix it, but I should do it anyway. Rook. Get. You're still sketch plane, yes. Redefine sketch plane. Piece. Top of base, okay. And then well, that is not correct, but okay. We are going to roll back here. We will manage loss projection first. Yoinks. Okay. Finish, and then redefine sketch plane. Please. Please let me redefine sketch plane. Thank you. Topo base. And then hop in here and hit OK. Piece number 2 done. And let's bot pick here. Nothing should break here. Good, nothing broke there. Get. Manage loss projections first. Whoops, not that one. Manage loss projections first. Relink. The bishop, right? Bishop. And that broke. Okay. Well, before we fix that, let's redefine sketch plane. Please. Fusion, why do you... I swear, Fusion is so... Redefine sketch plane. Construction top of base. Okay. Alright, now let's fix this. Because this is most definitely not correct. Where do we start? And why are you green? I redefined you correctly, so you were blue last I checked, or purple. Yeah, you were definitely purple. Finish. What if I redefine... Nope, I can't redefine sketch plane inside of here. Redefine sketch plane. Topo base. Okay. And then come back in here and you're green again. Alright. We are just going to delete. Start from scratch. Because this is not worth my time. Bishop. Body. Body. Body, body. Okay. And this is the king, so do that. Do that. Do that. Actually, I think I left this guy here. And then we did, if I recall correctly, there. And actually that guy was probably still like that. And then we did this. And we bisected this. And we said this was 45.5. And then we said this was, let us open up the previous version. I'm assuming each of these should be fine. Oh, I opened up the knight. Wrong one. That is knight, not king. Just open up one of these guys. We said that this bisect, that's 30. Okie dokies. That guy is 30. Cool. And do that, and finish, and extrude that. Okay. And mirror, missing plane, that guy. Okay. And circular pattern, missing axis, that guy. Okay. And let's hop back over here to the other king, and let's just visually confirm. Whoops, Control Z. And I will turn off the bishop here. Let's do a top view. And king. Yep, basically the same, but the top of our base is different sized because of everything else. And the king is going to resize, but the queen actually, or maybe the queen will resize too. The rook we might have to fix. No. So the top of base here is actually a different size. So we need to update that, and that's going to possibly break more stuff. The top of base is now equal to base size. Actually, rather than do that, we got this base offset here. So where's my base offset? Times 0. Okay. And I will save this. And we will go back through. There we go. So as you can see, that just got bigger because our area is larger that we're using. Save. King. Hopefully this doesn't break too severely. It did not break at all. Cool. Yep, we're still touching in the corners there. Turn the wrong guy off. There we go. Save. Okay. Queen. Yep, the update. And this is likely to be the same situation as before. So let me just confirm. Okay, this is the 30 on that side. So we are going to go ahead and redefine sketch plane first because I'm expecting to have to delete everything anyway. Okie dokies. And it's one of these things, I probably should have given it a chance first. I didn't, but it's, yeah. Turn that off so I can see what I'm doing. That double click works. That double click works. Some of the double clicks do not work. I want to preserve as much of this as possible so I don't have to redraw it like I did last time. The fact of the matter is it probably took me more time doing all that than it would have taken me to just redraw it. But that's alright. Okay. Turn you back off. Turn. Alright, I guess we're just going to construction line everything. And unconstruction line the rest of the stuff. So you go back into the corner. Nope. Nope. Sketch. Cornered. Cornered. That corner. That. And that should be right angled there. And that should be midpoint there. And just for propriety, well, let's go ahead and change you to be clicking there. Okay, cool. That was quick. Okay. And that's the queen done. That was a bit quicker than the king. Let us close this king really quick, the old version of king. And hop over to Nighty Boy. Update. And redefine. Yeah, I'm kind of expecting to have the same problem, so I'm just going to... Well, again, last time I said that we should at least let it, give it a chance. Wait, cancel? How? I didn't click anything. Come on, Fusion, wake up. Whoops. Oh, is that what happened? I clicked. My brain saw the body symbol there. I saw the body symbol there, and I was like, yeah, I want to reconnect the body. That would explain that one. Okay. Finish. Click, click, click. Redefine sketch plane. Construction topo base. Okay. And yep, you're green again. So I was correct that we're just going to have to redraw all this. Or reproject all this, re-intersect all this, etc., etc., etc. Okie dokies. And re-intersect that body. Okay. And turn everything into construction lines again. There, 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 there. And we had these as construction, or as solid lines, if I recall correctly how this works. And we had this as 3mm. Actually. So again, as now that this is bigger, we could change the way this is going, because this just goes here and here, if I recall correctly. That goes there, that goes there, that goes there. What part of you? Oh, that is the part that is off. Okay. Control Z. Click, click. There we go. All right. Now everything confined. The interesting thing is I can't reference this variable, right? Because if I could, I would just use that. But since I can't, I guess we'll just go back to 3mm here. 3.5mm. All right. Cool. That's where we're at. And that is supposed to be equal to that. No? Okay, why? Oh, not perpendicular. That's why. There we go. Alright. Do this. Huh. Did I not? I thought I made this. What line am I missing? Oh, that line. That is the line I'm missing. Okay. Cool, cool, cool. Alright. Now we save. Okay. And now we hop back to all pieces. All pieces. And let's update this and see how everything breaks. Alright, it doesn't actually look like everything broke, although what this is showing me is that overall size, it looks like we missed our offset here. So we'll have to go back in and fix that, but that's okay because I wanted to change the piece height anyway, and that's something we could have done before, but I wanted to get one thing done at a time just in case I found out that things were broken that would require even more fixing. So that's why I didn't do this at first. So major piece overall height is overall height times 0.75 is just how I'll do it. Star it. Pawn overall height times 0.5 is how we'll define it for right now, and hit OK. And now we can save these, and now we can come back in here, do that, and yeah, you see how this object is unselected? That's why all our pieces were not the correct height, and instead of overall height, we actually have to come in here and unfortunately do this. Again, I wish Fusion had proper scoping, so that I'd be able to just say, you know, chest piece dot overall height instead of having to hit the star button there. Unfortunately, that's not how this works. At least as far as I'm aware. I mean, if I'm wrong about that one, someone please tell me, because I would much prefer not to have to flood my variable space with random variable names that keep on getting underscore f, underscore f, underscore f. That, you know, it does not make sense to me. And we go here. Nope, we don't go there. We go to change parameters, undo the over, undo or redo the major, and now we go here. And we make sure to click this body now, and whoops, stop clicking. Major piece overall height. Okay. Save. King. Update. King actually is correct on the overall height front, but we do need to select this guy right here. Save. Queen. Update. This one does need, the queen is shorter than the king, so major piece. Okay. Select bottom. Major. Okay. And save. And connect update. Change parameters. Major over. Update this. Select bottom. Major. Okay. Save. And while we're here, let's update the pawn, even though we haven't gotten to the pawn yet. We're gonna update him. Scale. Okay. We don't need this scale. Oh well, we would only need this scale if we're also doing the base. Now, looking back at the pieces, as I mentioned before, camera. Back down here is where I took my numbers down. This one set had the pawns, and this is the glass set right here, had the pawn base the same size as the other guys. The other guys both reduced the pawn base size, you know, from 3/16. Oh no, actually, according to my notes here, that is not accurate, which I do not think is correct. So unless I misrecorded that one, where is my... Yeah, okay, that's a lot smaller. So what did I record here? Because I obviously did not record the correct thing here. Calipers say... What is that closest to? What is that fraction closest to? Oh, that's what happened. Okay. That is not 1 3/16. That is 13/16. That's what that is. So anyway, yeah. With the exception of this one set had the pawn base at the same exact size. We will not do that. We'll go ahead and minimize the pawn base. Fusione. Let me go ahead and close this tab open. And we will click that. And that's funny. Missing point. I don't recall ever clicking a point on scale. Didn't it just do it automatically? On uniform. That is fascinating. Huh. Okay. I don't usually use the scale function, which is the reason why I don't know how to fix that one. I just know it exists, and therefore no, it should be under modify. Eyes. And therefore that is why I don't recall what we used for scale before. That is why I don't know how to fix it, is what I was saying. So anyway, again, manage loss projections doesn't seem to do anything in our case. So we take the top of base, come in here, delete this geometry, redefine this geometry, requinkadink everything, and just turn those to construction lines for propriety's sake. Okay, and this one we now have a variable for, which I got to import overall and upon overall height. Okay, and we will go ahead and update this so that this functions the same way as everything else upon overall height. And that actually is shorter than it was before. So what are we at now? 20 there plus another 6, so 27-ish instead of 30. It's not that big of a deal. I mean, it may be a big of a deal later on, but for the time being, we're probably all right. So let's go ahead and save that, and let's come over to all pieces, update that, and see where we're at. So this is where we're at. Funny thing is, this is all within expectations. Is there anything that's not within expectations? I don't think so. I'm not seeing anything that is not how I expected it to turn out. So, where we're at right now is now we need to make the decision as to whether we're going to use the pawns to hold these guys together, which is an option, or if we are going to go ahead and try to do something with the base again, because I kind of put that decision off. I really don't like the idea of the bases not being uniform all the way around the circumference, having external features that are well, I mean, they wouldn't even be asymmetric necessarily, but extraneous external features bothers me. Boom, 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 boom. I mean, if it was uniform all the way around, so if we had external features for all the connection points, so female external features and male external features, it wouldn't look as bad. It would still look a little funny. We could stylize the base so that it is less obvious. So instead of being square, I realized that, well, actually, it wouldn't break anything. It actually shouldn't break anything because we could stylize the base separate of the square here. We could just build onto it to stylize it. So that is an option. So if we stylize these bases into a diamond shaped, roughly diamond shape, maybe more of a star shape, let's say, just because we're incorporating this, and then each of those external features that are more obscure. The one problem I'm seeing is, let me hop over to camera here. Here's our bishop. This bishop works because this base is square. Let me get into actual camera. So because this base is square, we know that this fits on this chess square piece right here. Let's say that this is a white square. So we know that fits onto that white square lined up with the size of it. The second we... I'm half tempted to just break this piece to demonstrate. Yeah, alright, I'm going to do it. Destruction live on stream. Alright. Exacto knife time. That way I don't accidentally kill somebody. Alright. If this is now a diamond shape. Well, this isn't even the diamond shape, so I just destroyed that piece for less reason than necessary. But you can see how now you can, well, this star shape even. So this star shape, you're not really sure whether this is a, sorry, let me back up just so that we're on the same page. Imagine this is all flat. Imagine these two pieces are on the same exact level and we're not up like this. Now, there is an argument that, okay, well, if this is a problem, we can go up like this. My only issue with that is printing these overhangs. And I would like to avoid overhangs as much as possible. But it is difficult to tell the difference if this is all on the same level and this is the star shape. It's difficult to tell whether this is a rook, which is what this is right here, or a bishop. So let me just rotate this. So that is a bishop, and we still have this star shape here, right? So we have the star shape here. That is a bishop. We rotate the star shape 45 degrees. If this is all on the same level, again, this is premised on if this is all on the same level, this is now a rook. So the star shape makes things confusing. If it's just a diamond shape, so if it's I'm trying to think if there's a good way to physically show this. If this is actually a diamond shape like this, actually let me just do this and then put this into a larger square. So this is now our chess piece square and this is our base. If this is a diamond shape, then you have a real tendency to take this diamond shape and turn it into a square, just rotate it 45 degrees to line it up with the edge here, right? So it'd be no different from taking this guy and going, oh, this guy is clearly misaligned with this edge and that bothers me, bothers my OCD, so I'm going to line up with the edge, you know? So that's the one issue with doing a diamond shape, is that there's no clear, you know, you look at this and you line it up on a black square, let's say. You line it up on a black square and you say, oh, well, now I'm fidgeting with it, trying to get it directly perpendicular, get this point directly perpendicular with this edge. So these are the things I'm worrying about on putting external features in order to connect these. And it may be one of those things I might just have to bite the bullet and do anyway. What I don't want to do is I don't want these external features to look like this. Like that. That would bother me because this is no longer uniform. Now, is it OCD? Sure. Yes, that's OCD. But you know, what I would like to do is back to what I was trying to achieve up here. You know, make it so that the top of the base is in this clover shape. That would be more, that would be better. But again, then we have it on our white square right here, okay? And you know, it doesn't clearly line up with the white square. It kind of does. I mean, I guess the clover shape is a little bit more forgiving because it's round and it's not a point that you're not sitting there fiddling with it, trying to get it to the dead center of that square. Am I overthinking things? Maybe. I might be overthinking things, but it's one of those things. I'm trying to put a good amount of effort into this design. And did I destroy the wrong king? No, okay, that was the smaller king. I got concerned for a second there. I was like, crap, I thought that was the smaller king, but was that actually the correct size king? Okay, no, we still have our two pieces. This might be something that I just have to meditate on a little bit here. So the one thing, let me hop back into Fusion, that I'm thinking about is with this way that I'm trying to get it done, where all the pieces are the same thing. Actually, sorry, swap you back to camera. Back to this issue right here. So now I'm just thinking about two layers, okay? So our side view for our clover let me drag us back over and not cut myself on the X-Acto knife. Our side view on the clover looks something like this. And that's going to be something like how it... actually, no. We don't need to do that. Okay, never mind. If we just do 2 layers now is what I'm thinking. We might be like this and like this when we put them together. That may be, I may give up on all this, on this face being flat, and it may actually end up being offset. So going back into Fusion, these external features, when they intersect each other, you know, just for reference sake, these will now be separated. So we're going to have a gap between these because these are clover shaped. So I'm saying these are clover shaped, and now my brain's going back over here. Hope you're enjoying the whiplash. So let's make sure that we're in camera frame here. Clover, yeah, I'll just draw this clover like this. Now I'm wondering whether or not we can't do something like this. And like that, and pretend this is all uniform. So we're going in a different shape now. Now we're going into more of an octagonal shape, or hexagonal, one of the two. Might piece it together like that. That is an option. So putting them at an angle. Again, I only have on Fusion these 4 pieces. We actually have 8 pieces to work with. So, I have 8 pieces rather. 4 pairs is what I meant. I have 4 pairs. We're going to have 8 pairs to work with. So, since we're going to have 8 pairs to work with, we could piece these together in slightly different fashion. Huh. Alright, my goal for this stream was to get these all pieced together, and it has been an hour and nearly 15 minutes, and that has not happened. Now, admittedly, part of it was getting the base changed over, and again, hopefully the next time we change the base, we don't end up with the same problem, because it is now an extrusion instead of a loft. But it might be time to just call this one a stream and let me think about how I want this together off stream. Yep, I mean, it's one of those things. Hour and 15 minutes, decent length stream. It did not get nearly as much accomplished as I wanted to, but that's okay because we did get everything updated and future improvements should go more smoothly. So, yep, I've decided that this has been a very fun, guys. Thank you for hanging out with me, rather. And I hope you have a great and wonderful day, afternoon, or evening, wherever you're in the world. And I will catch you for the next stream, which should hopefully get this nearly polished off. Hopefully.